morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a new Passimian card. And this one could be kind of fun. I probably left this a little bit later than I should. We are very quickly running out of cards from Remix about to have a look at. But this Passimian is one that does deserve a fair bit of attention. Now, if we start off with the basics, it's got 110 HP, which, I mean, is quite good. Basic Pokemon 110 is very good. We see this on Zapdos, and to be fair, it's in line with the other free Passimian we've had previously, so I'm kind of alright with that. Retreat cost of 1 is nice and low. It means you can retreat for free with U-turn board, escape board, so that's very nice. Weakness to Psychic is kind of annoying. Mewtwo and Mew is going to be everywhere at this point by the time this comes out. And not only are they hitting for weakness on you, but they are weak to Psychic, so anything hitting them for weakness will also be hitting you for weakness, which is a little bit sad. But you're a fighting Pokemon. And being a fighting Pokemon is awesome. Being a fighting Pokemon means you're hitting weakness against Pikachu and Zekrom and a whole bunch of other relevant Lightning Pokemon. Things like Electro Power really have made Lightning good lately. And of course it means we've got Diancie Prism Star to do an extra 20 damage. It means we've got Martial Arts Dojo to do an extra 10 damage if you have a basic energy attached. Basic fighting. 40 if you're behind on prizes. We got Black Belt to reduce the energy cost by 1 fighting if you're behind on prizes. It's a really good time to be a fighting Pokemon. But what does it actually do? Well, it's the first attack here that I am really concerned about. The first attack is good. 1 fighting energy, 20 damage, draw 2 cards. Now, on the face of it, 20 damage, draw 2 cards seems fine, but there are several factors in play here that make this way better than it initially seems. Now, there are a bunch of Pokemon out there that can draw 2 cards with an attack. There's a bunch of them. But here's the thing. They're generally not that great. So we've got Farfetch'd, which for 1 colourless energy draws 2 cards. We've got Mimikyu that for 1 colourless energy draws 2 cards. We've got Porygon 2 that for 1 colourless energy draws 2 cards. I mean, we could even add Virizion into that mix as well if you wanted. And sure, they're for colourless energy, but they just draw 2 cards. Instantly, the fact that you're drawing 2 while doing 20 damage is way better. But here's the thing. You're also a fighting Pokemon. Which means that you're not really doing 20 damage and drawing 2 cards. You add Diancie Prism Star and you're doing 40 damage and drawing 2 cards. If you're behind on prizes, you add a Martial Arts Dojo and you're doing 80 damage and drawing 2 cards. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is looking extremely good. Oh yeah, remember how the Dedenne GX is really good? And how Tapu Lele is rotating out, meaning that our only really good emergency basic draw card is Dedenne. And remember how Dedenne's got 160 HP and a weakness of fighting, which means a fighting Pokemon only has to hit it for 80 damage, and then it will be KO'd because of weakness. You can legitimately get a 1-hit KO on a Dedenne for a single energy while drawing 2 cards. Now, annoyingly, you're kind of far away from Pikachu and Zekrom. If we still had Choice Band, that would be amazing, but we don't. To be fair, even Choice Band would only put you up to 110. With weakness 220, you'd still be away from getting the KO here. Little bit sad, not much you can do about it. And drawing cards is good. I mean, one thing you can do here, one fun little combo you've got here, is buying time for Marshadow and Machamp. You see, Marshadow and Machamp is a fun little fighting Pokemon. It's a tag team GX. But the best use for it is as a revenge Pokemon. What you really want to do here is bring it in after one of your Pokemon has gotten KO'd, and then for 2 energy you're doing 30 damage base. But if one of your Pokemon was KO'd by damage from an attack the previous turn, then you do 90 more. That's 120 total, and incidentally, that is then enough to get a 1-hit KO on a Pikachu and Zekrom. And that's where we're going with this. I'm not saying it's the only combo you can use with Passimian, but I'm saying this is a kind of thing you do. It is functionally very similar to something like Volcanion or Evil Tal. You're doing a bit of damage and advancing your board state. Now, the old Volcanion and Evil Tal, they would accelerate energy while doing a bit of damage. Here you are drawing cards while doing a little bit of damage. But especially in the early game, oftentimes cards are what you need. You need more Pokemon, you need more energy, you need more trainer cards, and this is going to help you set up beautifully. We've seen that Virizion GX has been used with unknown hand decks. That's the one where if it's active and you've got 35 or more cards in hand, you just win the game. We've seen that Lapras has seen a fair bit of play, and okay, look, Lapras is good because it's got decent attacks. And the reason it fell out of play was because we lost Max Elixir. It's not the only reason, but it's one of them. And what you used to be able to do with Lapras before the last rotation was just draw 3 cards every turn, wait till you draw into your Aqua Patch and Max Elixir, set up your Lapras using those 2 cards, and then just go nuts doing a huge amount of damage, and then being quite gleeful that you get to do quite so much damage. It's fun. Attacks like this are good. Now look, if you go into a pre-release, this is going to be phenomenal in a pre-release. The fact that you're doing damage while drawing cards, I mean, in a pre-release, you don't get to choose your cards. They're kind of random. Though you do get that little deck of pre-made cards, which does help nowadays. But you're going to want to draw into your stage 1s and your stage 2s as soon as possible. Being able to do that while doing damage is great. In a pre-release, Passimian is going to be a beast. Outside of that, I see it seeing play in fighting decks. If we had strong energy, that would be amazing, though do remember that Martial Arts Dojo isn't fighting Pokemon, it's basic fighting energy. So if you did have strong energy, you wouldn't then also be able to use Martial Arts Dojo, because strong energy doesn't activate Martial Arts Dojo. And look, we've got other options. The Groudon coming in the same set accelerates a couple energy from your hand. That can be good, although it doesn't do any damage. But if you want to get some fighting energy out, Groudon from this set will do it. But I like Passimian. I like that a retreat cost of 1 means you can get it out the active whenever you want. I like that drawing cards is going to set you up for the game, and I really like the fact that that 20 damage isn't really 20 damage. If this was on a colourless Pokemon that was actually doing 20 damage, I would like it an awful lot less. But the fact that you're hitting a good weakness and you've got the best damage modifiers in the game right now, outside of maybe Electro Power, but even that, it's an item card which is limited use, really does make me extremely happy. Now, there is a second attack here, but it's not one about which we should be getting particularly excited. 1 fighting, 2 colourless energy, 70 damage. Now, it's not out and out trash, because 70 damage with a Diancie is 90, double with weakness is 180, then with either a Martial Arts Dojo or a Shrine of Punishment, down goes Zera Aura. And with a Diancie Prism Star and a Martial Arts Dojo, assuming you're behind on prizes, you do 130, doubled is 260, you will get a KO on a Pikachu and Zekrom. It's not a completely terrible attack, the damage you do is fine. The problem here really is the energy cost, because we've lost double colourless energy. And we're going to have triple acceleration energy, but the problem with triple acceleration energy is you're a basic and that can only be attached to evolved Pokemon. So it's not going to do you any good. So you've got to, and we've lost counter energy as well. So you are going to legitimately have to get free energy on there. Now, if you're behind on prizes, you can use Black Belt and 2 energy, any 2 energy. But even that's a bit awkward. And you can use Groudon to accelerate the energy onto it, but kind of the point of Passimian is to have an early game attacker in a fighting deck to do 20 while drawing cards. I am a huge fan of the Garchomp that's going to be coming out in Unified Minds. I can't tell you what's going to happen after the set's out. We've been testing for a while, but I can tell you that when that set releases initially, I'm a Garchomp fanboy. I'm going full Garchomp. I'm going to be loving it. And Garchomp's a stage 2, so maybe something like this in the early game to draw some cards is going to be quite good to set that up. I don't like the second attack, but I do think in a pre-release or as a starting Pokemon in a fighting deck, this first attack could be really good, especially for decks like Garchomp where Groudon's going to be kind of irrelevant because you don't need that much energy. So I'm going to be giving this between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. And it might even be better than that if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a card that could end up being really, really good in the context of an opening card, an opening Pokemon, a starting Pokemon, call it what you will, in fighting decks. But I'd like to know what you think about this card, so please be kind and let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, then head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.